okay? This is something that you work on every day. You really have to be a student of your craft. Okay, enough of that soapbox. Let's get down to it. As is tradition at the end of High Noon Highlights, I like to go over all our current indicators, our current positions, and our trading plan. And as always, we start with certain indicators. What are the key indicators that I'm looking at? TIP-TLT, our inflation indicator. That's the inflation protected treasury ETF divided by the long-term treasury ETF. We can see that it's still maintaining its breakout levels. We haven't seen it go below that. It's just, I think, consolidating in that area. Which way it goes, I think, will tell us which way risk assets move. Okay. HYG making a little bit of a recovery today. Again, it's still under its 15-day EMA. This is something that I went over earlier in the episode today. It just seems to be a moving average that works. So as long as I think it's under this, I think the trend is down, okay? Our our junk bonds AD line is still decreasing, and it's decreasing at a faster rate. So we are seeing liquidity in risk assets deteriorating at a pretty fair rate, okay? At a pretty fair rate. So I think bounces need to get sold. That's if you're in equities, bounces need to get sold. You sell the rip, okay? When this is going down, it's sell the rip. All right. That's junk bonds. The dollar had some losses today. It's trying to recover some of its losses. If it had gone any lower than its low for today, it would have been a key reversal day, but it looks like it won't be that. Euro USD still way under that pivot. Remember this pivot? I told you guys about this pivot a few days ago. I said if it loses that, look out below. And sure enough, that's what happened. All right. So I think more pain ahead for Europe, but we shall see, okay? So that's another indicator. DBC, as long as this keeps going up, TIP-TLT goes up. If TIP-TLT keeps going up, that means our inflation fear goes up, which is it's not very good for QQQ and risk assets, okay? Risk assets are going to get hit. If QQQ gets hit, IWM gets hit, also cryptocurrencies are going to get hit if TIP-TLT keeps going up. All right, so keep an eye on that. That's going to be very important. TIP, TLT, and also the junk bonds AD line, and of course the New York high-low line that we always look at. It busted above those two moving average, and then it just went right back down. And I think if this New York high-low line, if it makes a new low below its August 8th, August 9th lows, if it goes below that, and all the moving averages are going down. I mean, all the moving averages will point down if this makes a lower low. But if that happens, that means this bull market continues. That means that mini bull market rally that I was trying to predict that's going to come in soon, that means that's pushed off till later, okay? If this keeps going down and makes a new lower low, that means we're continuing our bear market trend. We're continuing our bear market, okay? So keep an eye on this. This updates once a day, okay? Trade plans. Bitcoin, Ethereum, still the same. I am still waiting. I am taking the patient approach. I think that is best. Really, the patient approach is the best. Wait for key levels and strike when you have the edge in your favor. And of course, TradingView likes to delete my lines. I don't know why TradingView does this. I'm going to have to give them a piece of my mind because these lines keep erasing. But anyway, I had a line here for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Hopefully it kept my Bitcoin and Ethereum line on the gold comparison charts. Let me just take a look. Let me see here. Bitcoin gold. Yes, at least it did. Okay. So yeah, we can use this as a reference as well too. Bitcoin to gold. When Bitcoin to gold gets to our red line, that's when I'll start buying and legging into Ethereum and gold. Okay. I mean, Ethereum and Bitcoin right here. Speaking of gold, gold is also part of our trade plan. Remember, I haven't mentioned it for a while because I thought, hey, it's so far away, but it's getting closer and closer to that level, that 1680 zone. Okay, I will go long on gold at 1680. I will buy some call spreads on GLD or so. Okay, so remember how I said that gold tends to make these multi-week moves. It bounces from a level, and usually a few weeks to a couple months later, it retests that level. Okay, that's usually how gold behaves. And so maybe in the next couple of weeks we get there if the dollar keeps going up, especially. So yeah, back in play, 1680. Okay, that's part of the plan as well. All right, oil. Okay, oil. Oil, I want to see that higher high, higher low. When I see that higher high and that higher low, at that higher low as well, I'll buy some call spreads on USO or the crude oil futures directly. I will not buy direct futures contracts. That's a leveraged undefined risk position. I'd rather keep it defined risk. Okay, so I'm going to be using call spreads, call verticals on USO or the actual crude oil futures itself. It just depends on what the option skew looks like for the expiration I want. Okay, so we won't know that until we get closer to that position. But again, I'm going to go long if it makes a higher high and a higher low. At that higher low, I'm going to buy. All right, and I'm still looking to short oil at 120. So two-way trading on oil for me at least. All right, so that's my plans for oil. What else do I have? Oh, let's get back to our Thinkorswim here. All right, HUT mining update today. I will want to still buy at 165. I still have those covered calls. Finally, the covered calls are in the profit now. So as this gets deeper and maybe if the sell-off gets worse, I will cover those covered calls that I have. I still have those. The January $5 strike covered calls for my HUT shares. Okay. I took on a new position, as I said earlier today, just a lotto, a partial fill on a small order at 9 cents for 39.5 ARK. Okay. Again, I saw a lot of sell orders coming through on some of the Cathie Wood stocks. So I said, let's put a lotto in. I got a partial fill. Let's see what happens. Okay. What else do I have? Okay, so I think then now we get to our current positions. DIA still in it. The 300, 290, long the 300, short the 290. EWT, which is our EWT, which is our our Taiwan ETF. I'm still long the 49.40 put spreads. Nothing has changed. FEZ, still nothing has changed. I'm still in the November 32.27. 32.27. Some spreads, but again, I covered some of my 27 puts. Remember, like a week or so ago, I put a stink bid at 25, and I was able to get out of most of them at 25 cents. So I have a few of my 32 puts that are just naked long. Okay, so those are doing very well. Not today, but overall in the week, they're doing pretty good. So that's FEZ, IWM. I still have my IWM. Both the October and November 180, 170 put spreads, long the 180, short 170 for both October and November. And also UVXY, still waiting on that outsized VIX move. Usually when VIX pops like this, it usually comes back down a little bit and then makes a higher low and then pops back up. I'm expecting it to get to like 20, at least 27 or so. But we'll see. 1424s and also the 1520s. I'm still in the same exact spreads. QQQ, I'm still in the same exact spreads for November as well. We're up about 30-40% on these spreads, which is quite nice. However, I would like closer to max profit, which in this case we will get probably around 300 to 400% if this makes a move down. If it sells off hard, we're probably going to make like a good 300, 400% on this. Okay. So we'll see. So that's that. That is my current trade plan, my current indicators, and my current positions. Checkmate trading. Any questions, comments, rude remarks?